Hey, do you want to see these new products I got from e.l.f.? One of these, the spray-on sunscreen, I've tried a couple of times, but the other 3 are brand new, and I can't wait to see how they look on my skin. It seems like e.l.f. has been doing product launch after product launch lately, and it's getting a little tough to keep up. But when I saw the liquid poreless putty primer, I was intrigued, and I decided I needed to try it. I do like the regular putty primer. I don't currently have one. I was working on the matte putty primer, and I'd gotten pretty far down into it, but it kind of dried out. So I decluttered that in my primers, powders, and setting spray declutter. And I can link that for you up here and down in the description box if you'd like to see that video when you're done here. But the one thing I didn't like about those was digging into the pan to get the primer out, because I always get it underneath my fingernails. So this liquid is in a squeezy tube, and you don't have to dig your fingers into it. So while I put it on, I will tell you about the product. It is very liquidy. I hope I didn't get too much, but it says to just apply it with your fingertips and pat it in. So that's what I'm going to do. Everyone's favorite poreless putty primer, now in a silky, weightless liquid. The hydrating formula delivers lasting makeup grip, a smooth finish, and skin-loving squalane. And once again, I didn't put it on one side, but not the other, so we're just gonna have to see what it looks like. It feels really smooth, and it does dry down. It doesn't feel greasy or wet. And I'm kind of pressing into this area where I have some larger pores. It feels very velvety. I don't know. Let's see if I can see the ingredients. It does have silicone, so that's where you get that velvety slip feel from. And then I'm going to check my 10x mirror here. I think it did give some pore blurring. I think it did give some pore blurring in here. So let's see how foundation goes over it. It does say to let it sit for 30 seconds on your face before you go in with foundation. The second product I want to try before I go in with my foundation is the Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener, and I got mine in the color Fair. I am going to do one eye first and then show you so that you can see it. One of these days I'll get the hang of this YouTube thing. It's very emollient and creamy. I'm going to go ahead and show you just the swatch. And it is a very fair, light pinky peach. They do have these in many different colors. And so I'm going to just take some on my little ring finger there and dab that in. I want to see if it does get rid of the dark color, the purple color, and if it sets down so that when I put concealer over it, it's not going to crease. Awaken your under eyes with illuminating pearls and color correcting tones. The medium coverage Putty Balm formula brightens the appearance of dark circles and creates a smooth canvas for concealer. Gently pat into under eye area with fingertips and blend outward, follow with. Okay, so I turned the lights down just a little bit more, and I'm going to come in closer so that you can see this is the one that I used the corrector on, and this is the one that I did not. So looking at it myself in the mirror, I do feel like this one is brighter. I think maybe I would like a little more coverage of the dark circles, but it has done some. And it may have done enough that when you put the concealer over the top of it, that you get really good coverage. So I am going to leave it like this. I'm not going to put the corrector under this eye. I am going to put concealer on both eyes, and then we'll be able to see how it looks with and without, just like I'm supposed to do. By the way, I just put new batteries in this little light set back here, and I don't think they've ever been quite that bright. I'm hoping that it's okay. These are what they usually look like. They're just like going all in today for me, I guess. So I decided to keep it in the e.l.f. family, and I used the Flawless Satin Foundation in 150 Alabaster, and then the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer in Fair Beige. For the concealer, I used my ring finger and just tapped it in and continued to blend, 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 and then I used the e.l.f. concealer sponge to kind of blend it out, make sure that there wasn't too much excess product on there. Then I put some eyebrows on because I was looking a little crazy, and when I was done with my brows, I went ahead and I tapped it again because I did have just a little bit of creasing on both sides. So let me come in really close, and this is the one that I used the color correcting eye brightener on, and this one I didn't. So I don't know, am I crazy? I really do think that there is less shadow in this trough right here on the side that I used the eye brightener on. And there was no more creasing on this side than there was on this side when I was done with my brows and I had to kind of tap it out. I haven't powdered or anything like that. I just tapped it out with my fingers. So, wow, I might be a little impressed. And then I'm sure you all know that they came out with their wands with the blush, highlight, and contour. I decided to just get the contour wand. And the reason I decided that is because, one, I already have several glowy products from e.l.f. I have the Whoa Glow sunscreen, and that gives me a lot of glow. And I have the liquid filter, which is also glowy. And so I feel like I didn't need the highlighting wands because I already have this. And I have a lot of creamy, shimmery, liquid putty type blushes. So I didn't really need more blush. And then I have all of these liquid highlighter wand type things. This one's not a wand, but I just didn't want to spend the money on more glowy highlight wand type products that I didn't think I was going to use, because I'm trying to be a little more careful about my spending. I do want to review new things for you guys, but I want to buy things that I think I'm going to also be able to get some use out of in the future and not just for the review video. So the only one that I got in the wands was the contour wand, and I got this in the Fair Light color. You know, we talk a lot about brands keeping the mature community in mind when they're making their products. I wish they would do so when they're making their packaging, because white letters on a sparkly gold background is really hard to read. And this has like ingredients and probably the color on this right here. There's no way I can read that. I mean, I doubt that anybody can read that. But why couldn't you put a white sticker on the bottom of there with the color? How hard would that be? I bought a travel shampoo and conditioner that I wanted to try at Walmart, and I can't tell in the shower which one is the shampoo and which one is the conditioner because the packages look exactly the same. They are light pink with white writing on them. I can't read it. It's really annoying. I should do a pet peeve sometime because I have a lot of them. So by now you've all seen this. I'm sure you've seen them all swatched. It comes with the little spongy tip on top. I was looking at it and it doesn't appear that this spins to close, so it's just always open. But I'm going to be honest here, and I don't like this kind of packaging. Let me show you my flower highlighting wand. It is a mess. This one does actually open and close by twisting right here, but it gets all over you when you do that. So I don't know. And inside here is just disgusting. It's a mess. So yeah, these are not my favorite. This one from Moira has a little squeezy tip, and you can put that on the back of your hand or on your palette or something and just dab your finger in there. I much prefer that. I realize that the sponge tip wand is all the rage, but I don't like it. So anyway, you squeeze it and it comes up through the top, and hopefully you don't squeeze too much. All right, so I have a brush here somewhere. This one's a flat top, kind of a stiff brush. I also like this rounded one, but this one's not clean and I don't want to use it on a new product. So we're going to use this one and see how it does. And I'm just going to dab. That is a really good contour shade for me. It's definitely a shadow color, very cool toned. And okay, that blended in really well. Very nice. We'll do the other side. I feel like it did a really good job giving me some definition on my cheekbones. And then we'll dab a little bit here on the saggy bits and blend that in. And then a little bit here, kind of in a triangle shape, to create a shadow under my chin to kind of help that recede right there. I think I really like this. If it was in a different applicator, I think I might even give this like a, 5 stars. But with the applicator that it's in, it's only going to get 4. maybe 4.5. I am going to go away and do the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back to share my... Before I share final thoughts on everything, I've almost forgot that I have the All Set for Sun Protection and Setting Spray. This is great if you need to reapply your sunscreen later in the day. You've been out for a while and you can't put on a cream sunscreen. You have a full face of makeup on. So you can spritz this on and re-up your SPF. There are some instructions on this that you need to follow. First of all, it says that you need to shake it. And then it tells you to close your eyes and your lips, to spray generously from 8 to 10 inches away, and to keep your eyes and lips closed for 3 seconds after spraying. That'll avoid getting sunscreen in your eyes or on your lips, so you don't have to taste it. So I am going to get my hair out of the way. Close my lips. Okay, so 2 things I want to mention. This is a chemical sunscreen, and denatured alcohol is the first ingredient in the inactive ingredients list. So if you have very dry skin, this might not work for you. And I do sometimes notice when I put it on that there's just a little bit of a, not a burn, but maybe a little tingle. It doesn't last, it goes away. But I didn't want to mention it because if you have sensitive skin or really dry skin, this might not be something that you want to try. Everything is on. I'm going to go real quick through what I put on my face. I already told you about foundation and concealer. For blush, I used the Moira Love Heat Cream Blush in I Miss You. I love this pink. It's so pretty. And then I set it down with the Pure Nude Baked Blush from Essence, and this one is in Cool Coral. It's such a pretty color. For my highlighter, I used the Focallure highlighter in Groovy, and this was part of a set that I got. It has a highlighter and a contour, and I love these. They're really, really good. On my eyes, I used the NYX Jumbo Crayon in white as a eyeshadow primer. And then I used the Lost in Los Angeles palette from BH Cosmetics, and I used the white to kind of set that shadow stick just kind of in the crease and a little bit above. I took WeHo in the transition area right here into the brow bone. And then the 405 I used in the outer corner and in the crease to deepen that up a little bit. Then I used Sunset Boulevard as a shimmer on the outer portion of the lid and Malibu on the inner portion of the lid. And then I thought it was just a little bit too peachy, so I took a little bit of Runyon Canyon on a fluffy brush and just put just the littlest bit out in this outer section here, just to deepen it up a little bit more and take down the orange. And then on a liner brush, I took just a little bit of Runyon Canyon with the 405 mixed together and just kind of smudged that under the lash line. To finish up the eyes, I used the Wet n Wild Kohl eyeliner pencil in Simma Brown Now and an Essence Kajal pencil in white. And then I used the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara on my lashes. And then I set my face down with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. And then finally on my lips, I used the Essence 8-Hour Lip Liner. This one is in So Default, and the Wet n Wild Cloud Pout in... Yeah, I have no idea. It's too small. I'll put it in the description box down below where I list all the products. This I really like. It is kind of moussey textured. I can get where they get the cloud from, and it dries down, but not completely, so it's really comfortable to wear, but it does have a little bit longer lasting power. And I think this color is really pretty with my eye look. So what do I think of the e.l.f. products that I tried? I really liked the way my skin looked after I put on the liquid putty primer. The makeup went on really well over it, and I think that it looks really smooth and nice. It's not settled in the creases by my mouth or gathered weird around my nose, so that's a plus. Obviously, I don't know yet how it's going to wear. This is a first impression. I do not know if I will be able to do a check-in later or not. We have a show at the theater, so I'm going to be really busy, and by the time I get home, I'm going to be exhausted. But I will put it in a pinned comment how I felt the makeup held up and wore through the day. The contour wand, I think I really like. It went on very easily, blended easily, but didn't blend away. Had enough pigment, but not too much that it ended up looking muddy or weird. Did not lift my foundation, which is a really big one for cream products. And obviously, again, I don't know how it's going to wear, but I will let you know. So far, very happy with it. A little bit out of order here, but that's okay. That's just kind of how they were scattered on my table. The putty color correcting eye brightener, I do think that there is a difference between how the under eye on this side looks and how it looks on this side. Maybe not huge, but I think it's a difference. And when I set down my face, I did not powder under my eyes. I want to see if there's a difference in the amount of creasing I get with the eye brightener because it was very emollient, but it did seem to dry down. So let me take, I've been doing a lot of talking and moving my face, so let me see. Yeah, I have creasing, but I have creasing on both sides. There's a crease right there and right there. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and powder this. I've got my number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder that I really, really like. So I'm going to pat out that crease and just set that down. Because I really do have a long day ahead of me, so I want to go ahead and take care of that. All right, I feel better about that. And finally, this. Now, I have used this on other days and I have not had a problem, but you may have been noticing, and I did know it was there, that I have a smudge above my eye of my mascara. That was not there before I sprayed the setting spray. And I think what happened was the setting spray made my mascara wet again, which then transferred to my brow bone. So I am going to clean that up. I just took a sharp little pointy brush that's kind of stiff and flicked that away. And then I grabbed my brush that I put on my eyeshadow with and just kind of blend it again. I think it's taken care of it, but just something to be aware of when you put on any setting spray. I usually try to put my setting spray on before I put my mascara on, but on this one I didn't want to do that because if you're putting it on midday or something like that, you're going to have your mascara on, and I wanted to see what it did. So be careful when you open your eyes that you don't open them too far right away and give that mascara time to re-dry again. Did you try any of these e.l.f. products and what did you think? Let us know down in the comments below and let us know what your skin type is. Remember, I'm 58 years old, so I have lines and wrinkles, mature skin. For some reason, I have some dryness on the inside of my nose on both sides lately. But in general, I'm oily in the T-zone, combo normal everywhere else. And so if your skin is like mine, you might like the products that I like as well. That doesn't mean it's not going to work if your skin is different than mine. I just don't know. I'm going to go run and have some lunch and go to work, and I am going to let YouTube decide on a video that it thinks you might like. How about if you click on it and see if it was right? If you need to run, I will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.